viewers, welcome to an edition of Scoreboard here on ACTN. It's always a pleasure to be in your company every Tuesday evening between hours of 8 to 9, where we bring you something relevant in sport and Trinidad and Tobago. And we continue our series in the sport of rugby. As you know, ACTN, we are the ones who really go there and try to showcase the sports that we felt, is in need of that, prominence on television. And we know that rugby is a sport that we can help and assist, and especially with some of the young people involved in the sport, no better way to do it than to showcase and highlight the sport of rugby. Let me introduce my guest, my co-host Maria. Well, Maria is the person who has been responsible for really bringing these shows, the rugby segments on ACTN, and I really want to compliment her for what she's doing, because we are doing something good. I believe we are doing something good from the feedback that we are getting. I know that people enjoy these segments where we highlight rugby. Maria, it's a pleasure. Welcome.
As always, thank you so much, and I'm glad that we can be covering the rugby here this evening.
Right, and I will leave you to introduce your guest.
All right, well, our guest is Makeba Edwards, and I'm really excited because of the role that she plays in rugby, and I think it's a really important role. It's a role that has definitely been growing on me. I've gone from, I would never want to do that, that's too much pressure, to the more I watch and learn about this position, it makes me think, wow, this is really something important. So Makeba Edwards, she is a referee for Trinidad and Tobago. She is also a player and a mother. So she's definitely someone who is doing a lot in rugby and in life.
Well, I know that we're going to be getting a different perspective of rugby here, because we have spoken to players, but it's the first time we're going to be talking to a referee, because I'm sure that those who are viewing the program, who have been following this series in rugby, will want to know some of the rules and some of the guidelines to the sport of rugby. So again, welcome. Well, I know that you're still a player, right?
Yeah.
Let's go back. Let's jump forward. Let's talk about the officiating part of rugby, right? How you got into it, and what is it like for a female involved in officiating in rugby?
All right. Well, for officiating in rugby, I would have never thought about being a referee.
Mm-hmm.
It was never thought. All I wanted to do was play.
Mm-hmm.
And as a player, I have the mindset, the referee always against you. That's the first thing you do. But in my experience with it, right, my mentor, Mr. Anthony Pointy Flat, he kind of coaxed me into it, because the more I asked him questions as a player, is the more he brought forward the knowledge. And the first thing he would say is not rules. Rules are things that are diehard. It can't be changed. He would say is the law of the game.
Okay.
The law could always be interpreted and discussed. So that's why we always have changes in certain laws, right? And the more he taught me the laws of rugby, is the more I got opened up to it, I got interested. It made my game better, because I now know how to go around the ref in a bit, right? So it improves your game. The more knowledge you have about the sport, it improves your game. And the more he coax and beg and plead, you'll do a little sideline thing, you'll do a little certificate in it, so you always have that in your pocket. He actually pushed me to do a certificate in linesman, coaching, right? And then he made the ultimate one in making me do the certificate in level 1 refereeing. And as he opened up those doors and I saw the opportunities, it was like, how did I miss it? It was that open. And then when Scott Holland, right, he's from RAN, Rugby Association of America. When Scott came down, he was like, we need more female ref. You all need to step up. You all need to get in the middle. But you're still a little timid, because you know the kind of attitude you give towards the referee.
Well, you will know that first time being a player too.
Yeah.
Right?
So now we know what type of player you are.
Yeah, I was the type of player, even though I was learning more about the game, I'd be like, but ref, what about this? Ref, what about that? Sir, this is going wrong. Isn't this supposed to be this way? So you'll get a little battering from the players, especially the players that believe they know the law more than the ref. right? So the more they told me, come, Papa, still in your hand. Let me go. I was like, I know the abuse I go and get in the middle there. I'm not going. But then when you see the new players coming out, the fresh players coming out, and you see exactly what goes on and the kind of the part the referee plays, you said, you know what? I need to be there.
You mentioned level 1. So there are other levels in
Yes.
being officiated.
There is. Everybody believes that it's just like one basic level. No. Officiating takes you from level 1, level 2. And then it doesn't just have the referees level. There's also match officials, the judges as well. There are judges in tournaments. So that anytime a referee gives a yellow card, we have a court. We go to court. So you always have a judge there, the player, and the refs, so that they will deliberate. So that's where the suspension and stuffs come into play. Because if a player does something to injure another player, and they do get the yellow card, you also have to take it to a different level where you could determine whether you would suspend that player, if it was accidental or not, if it was intentional. So it have the different levels, and the rugby is just, it have so many opportunities.
Where do you see yourself in officiating? Are you going to go right up to where the air is rare, where you will be the top official? And you're still playing too, right? So how you balance the two?
It's hard. First of all, it's hard because when you become a ref, right, and you're on that field, whether it's on the sideline as an assistant referee or in the middle as a ref, you have to separate yourself from a player. It took me years to do that. It took me about 2 or 3 years because sometimes you get so caught in watching the game.
Yeah, that you're missing
that
it.
you forget, hey, you're supposed to be adjudicating the game.
That ever happened?
It has.
Yeah.
Right? And even it also has to do with when you are adjudicating the game, you always have the banters from the coaches. Because if their side is not getting, they're not going forward the way they want to, they always have something to say. Regardless of if you see something differently, they will always say, well, no, I want the other benefit of the doubt. So even in refereeing, you have to like close it off. You have to find that space where it's just you and the players. You have to close off everybody. Sometimes it does happen to just be ignoring everything on the sideline. You have to be in that proper frame of mind to say, well, I am going to give them the best game that I could.
One of the things that I noticed recently was, besides reffing the game, obviously, right, is that the referee has a huge impact on the game. A referee who is understanding of the players, a referee who can explain a call in a way that's concise and not taking up time from the game, a referee who signals clearly so right away everyone knows what's going on. And it changes the whole tone of the game because a lot of frustrations can come out of not understanding why calls were being made.
Yeah, it does. Because when the first time I went in the middle, I was a nervous wreck.
Yeah.
I was a nervous wreck. My signals were all over the place until, well, Mr. Pointy Flight, he told me, breathe, calm down. He said, right now, what I need is the mother. I need the teacher. I need the traffic warden. I need you to be that person in control and know what you're doing. He said, the first thing I want you to do when you can't remember what it is you're going to call, go back to basics, right? Your basics are always your signal, your movement, your positioning, right? You must see that ball. You must be able to be there, right? And he was like, once you get that, especially your signals, you're good to go. Because you can't be timid. Because you have about 30 or 20 players there just ready to smash into each other. So you have to be in control.
But is it easy for you officiating based on how you are still a player? I mean, communicating with the teams because they will know you're still active in the game. It's not that you have left the game, you're still active. So I guess when you're officiating games, you will come up against players who maybe you have played against maybe last week.
Yeah.
Right? Is it easier or is it more difficult You know, especially if you're officiating in a match that your team defeated 2 days back now, and the very same players are there.
Actually, it's not really that hard, right? I have to say that most of the clubs in Trinidad, they have that level of discipline, right? Females and males. The males might give you a little tension, but the females really have a lot of discipline towards the game. As you go on the field, is hi ladies, I'll be your ref today.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody will be on all smiles.
Mm-hmm.
You let them know from the start what you're going to be officiating, what you're going to be looking at, and they'll be like, okay, ref, we understand. So even if I played against them last week and we lost,
Mm-hmm.
it would still have that level of respect as a referee,
Mm-hmm.
right? Taking it away as a player, one is come like if you're changing the hat.
Okay.
So you have on a black hat today, you know, tomorrow you have to put on that red hat.
Mm-hmm.
It's a totally different person.
Well, I like the reference that you made where Mr. Pontiflet said to you, you know, be the teacher, be the mother, be the traffic warden. This is telling us there are a lot of facets to your life. I say, wow, there's a lot of things that you're balancing there.
Yeah, but with respect to work, right, being a traffic warden, there's not much, how to say, like during the week when we have training and stuff like that, the time is fast. So it helps that whenever I have to go out, like just for instance, like when I had to come today to get that time off from work, my chief, he's good. He's actually responding to it. Because at first he'll be like, what are you doing playing rugby? Look at you. Right? And he'll be like, no, sir, it's actually a sport that I really get into. And he admires that we taking it to a different level, especially at national level. He loves that. So he gives us
You
his
better say hi
support.
to him quickly. You know.
Huh?
You better say hi to him. You know, so,
Good evening, Mr. Protein.
right. So if you need time off again, he will
Yeah.
help. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm hoping so.
Mhm.
Right? So it's nice that people who generally don't know anything about the sport and then they see the young people trying to elevate. They give you that comfort, they give you that support, they give you that push to take it all up further.
Mhm.
And he's actually one of them.
The reason why I'm so, I'm supposed to use the word interested in the sport and highlighting the sport is because of, especially with Rainbow, with Jack, what he's doing with the young people, and especially in the, if you just call it so-called depressed areas, right? Because he do a lot of work in rural communities with young people in areas where the normal person ain't going, you know. So based on that, you know, I felt the need, and when Maria spoke to me, I felt the need to highlight the sport, you know. But I know that we have talked a bit about your officiating career, but let's talk about Makeba, the rugby player now. How it started, how you got into the sport?
It's funny actually. When I got into this sport, I was just looking for a sport to be comfortable with. I was playing cricket, I was playing football, netball, any kind of sport, just to keep myself active. And two of brilliant players, right? Mr. Carlton Felix, with aka Smokey, and Felician Guerra. They were ex-students at my school at Sowersec. And they started to play rugby and they thought it was a good idea to bring it in. So when they came to school and they gave the idea and we started off rugby, the first festival we entered, we won. And that was the Milo Festival, the Milo Sports Festival. And from there, they invited us to the club, Orleans, and we started playing and it was just like no turning back. I forgot everything else. Started to play cricket for school. I was actually thinking about going to the national level and I just forgot it all. Rugby was the sport I was looking for.
Okay.
And from there, I got attached to UE. And UE, it might be weird because I play for police now, but UE is home.
Oh, everybody playing for police. You get paid to play for police?
No.
Okay. I find everybody just, you know.
The police team?
It's one of the better clubs.
Yes, I would say yes, it's one of the better clubs, but it wasn't always one of the better clubs.
Okay. I need to hold your thought for 1 minute. We need to take a break. Right? Viewers, you in Scoreboard here on ACT, and as we're talking sport of rugby, we'll be right back after the short break. You're now changing your question.
What I would say, Steve, is this.
My first question was, and roll back the tape.
I made my debut for Crystal Palace against Tottenham Hotspur.
My responsibility was to get the ball and make things happen offensively.
In all the time we've played together, I've always been the decoy.
Welcome to Field of Dreams on ACTN. My name is Steve David, and I'm your host.
Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome to another edition of Scoreboard here on ACT, and it's always a pleasure to be in your company every Tuesday evening between the hours of 8 and 9.
Welcome to the new season of Football 101. I am your host, Joshua Matos.
Well, it's time for your weekly football news update. I love you, Messi.
Unfortunately, kiss the badge, kiss the badge. Oh, what's that? Welcome to this edition of the interview, and as you can see, I'm not alone on the set. I have Marcus, a Liverpool fan, and I have Shakir.
Welcome back. We are here on Scoreboard with Makeba Edwards. She is a referee, she is a player, she does so many things in her life, and she's just telling us a little bit about the club that she plays for now, which is Police.
Now, everybody believes that Police was always on the top. But for every team, you have to pay your dues. Have to, right? When Police now started, I wasn't even a part of Police. I was a part of UE Women still.
Okay.
Right? And it so happened that we used to have our end of season tournament in Tobago, right? And we went across. UE ladies didn't have a full set to go across, but we just used to go across anyway because any team we play with, any kind of spot we get, that was the best. And I ended up playing with Police ladies. And it's one of their coaches, Wayne. He came and talked to me. He was like, we could use your help. You know the game, you know your way around the game, you're learning the game. You could come every once in a while. And he made it clear. He said, I'm not coaching you. I want to take you from your team. It's not coaching, but I could use the assistant. And I thought about it for a while because you coming from another team where you were playing against them and you won, and now going to help them train, what would be the response you're going to get? Because you most likely would meet with animosity than anything else. And I went. I did went against everything that was in my mind. I went. But when I came there, I didn't really meet animosity. You will get one or two that will be like, what's she doing here? But I was welcome, right? They taking all the knowledge that I had to give them, and they worked on it. They built on it. Every change in the law, they taught it. They took it in, they soaked it in. At that time, everybody was like sponge, just ready to take the information. Because just like me, when I started, they didn't know anything about rugby. And the more they learn, is the more the game changed, the more they adapted. And now, as we have Coach Ross, better yet, because his knowledge plus the athletes that he have now is just perfect. 4 years running, you can't stop them right now. They're on a high.
But do you see that as a deterrence? And when I say deterrence, you have one team dominating. Is that a kind of like a disadvantage to the other teams who will say, look, we can't really beat Police, and this, or are this? It's still competitive wise, amongst the team, the second and third and fourth place team trying to dethrone Police.
Yeah, it is still competitive because when you go out on that field, you cannot say it's just Police game. It's anybody's game. Rugby, yes, it's a physical sport, but it's also a mental sport. And most of the women that play rugby, they always have that mentality, I'm better than you.
Okay.
I could do better than you. It's always that last play, that last try, that fire. You always get that when you're out there. So it's never just one team dominating.
Mm-hmm.
It's always a clash, it's always a fight, it's always tooth and nail. Just like the USA game, 33-33.
Oh,
There's always that, I must be one step ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't slip. Because even for police players, we always say, yes, we're on top. But it's everybody who's coming for that throne.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Yeah.
never like we alone. Because there was a point in time that Royals was the dominant team,
Okay.
right? And everybody came out. And that's how police, they were able to build their game enough to take it from Royals. And Royals is not far behind. Their team is, wow. The runners they have, plus with the experience that most of the girls have, it's anybody's game.
now you mentioned 4 years running. So what competitions have you won 4 years running?
Well, we've run the Ruggarama,
Mhm.
right? We've run league and then the sevens. There's always the end of the sevens. Now, I myself, I would not be a sevens player.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a speed for it.
Okay.
I am good with 10. I love it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Sevens is a totally different game than 10. It's a faster paced game. It's movement, quick movement. You still have to be thinking on the ball all the time. So I love to see Nicolette play sevens, Juliana play sevens, because they have such an art to it. It's not just run with a ball and dice it, score. You must look at the game, you must make movements. And Nicolette has a step she has set everybody with. It's like, wow. You just really wonder where you come with that, how it is you get it. So you will see something, you will try it, and you'll move with it.
When you look back at your career, you haven't suffered any major injuries,
I have 2 bad knees.
2 bad knees,
2 bad knees.
and you're still in the sport.
And still in the sport. It's like rugby is addictive. It is very addictive.
I realize that.
Yeah, it's very addictive. So even if you got injured, I have gotten a broken nose before because at the start of my game, there wasn't really a lot of women around. I used to play with the boys, the only girl with the boys. So I had to be cocky. When I meet up with teams, I'll be like, hi, I'm the captain, and this is the side that will be beating you today. I literally used to tell them that. The boys on them used to be mad, right? But in playing with the boys, you get tough. And then when you come and play with the girls,
Yeah, you have that edge.
tougher. No, it's tougher.
Is rugby a sport for bullies?
Nah, I wouldn't say so. Because the discipline that has to go into rugby.
Yeah, I could be a disciplined bully.
No, you see,
No.
rugby has a way that our laws prevent us from damaging each other to a certain point.
All right.
So even if you tackle...
No, but you know what have bullies who just bully people and they don't damage them.
Yeah.
You know, you just rough them up and you bully them, but you're not bullying them to the extent to damage anybody.
There's actually a player in our team that we actually nicknamed the bully.
Yeah.
That's
You see what
Kalisha.
I mean? Yeah.
But that's how it
you're
is.
just rough and, you're rougher than the rest there.
But I think rugby is a bit of a family. So the same way that you might have sibling rivalry, you know.
have that.
I like that after the game, how they greet each other and, that kind of close.
It's a fight in between, and then after that, it's like, we good.
Because I've played with Makeba, I've played against Makeba, I've been refereed by Makeba, and now we're here today.
That's why we leave the space. That's why
the space is there, so you can move the chair in.
That's why we leave that space. We have about 4 minutes remaining. A twofold question. Where do you see yourself in the sport of rugby as a player and as an official?
As a player, I've done the national level of it. I believe I'm too old for it now.
Okay.
Right. And I really think in a couple of years, I would retire to go full on refereeing.
Okay.
Because I've seen what refereeing does. And for the upcoming players, I would like them to get the same game that I was offered.
Okay.
And the referee is an integral part of it. So the more knowledge I could get as a referee, even probably as a match official, I would
You get that locally or you have to go abroad for that? Are there coaching seminars that take place locally to
Yes, they're
Okay.
coaching seminars that take place locally, right? Mr. Anthony Pointyflet, he comes down. When Scott Allen comes down, he gives out. There's also opportunity to go abroad and have it as well. Because there's little scholarships and stuff that we could go to, that we could apply for. And there's also in Minnesota where they have their little training sessions as well. So all that is open, especially for female referees. They're not much.
Well, we only have 3 minutes, and we didn't even get into the fact that, you know, you have 2 children who I see around rugby all the time, smiling and running and playing and just bringing so much life.
Oh, yes, I remember at the
Yes.
Arima, your
Women's Day.
daughter.
International Women's Day.
Yeah. I think we're supposed to have a picture of her with the rugby ball.
She had her eye on all of the balls.
Yeah.
One mine and the small one and the big one.
She's interested. I'm shocked that she's interested. Because her father plays basketball and they sit down and they watch basketball all the time. So
Okay.
that kind of toss, even though, you know, you always edge the rugby ball in her hand.
One ball over shape and one wrong.
Yeah, but my son more into football, but my daughter, she just all over. So I feel she'll be like me.
Would you change anything that you have done in the sports?
No, not
You
a
just
thing.
love the game.
I just love it.
Before we wrap there, we all have people that we want to give a compliment to for bringing us this far in the sport. Anybody come to mind?
Actually, yes. I have to give a compliment to Mr. Harold Hampton. He pushed me when I was in UB. He pushed me straight through, right? Miss Kitty Nero. She was the one who made me see my potential in being as a national player. And of course, Curtis Nero, he kind of coaxed me into the refereeing as well. I'm Mr. Anthony Pointyflet. Without him, I wouldn't even think or dream about being a referee.
Okay. Maria, any closing?
Well, I just want to thank you so much for being here today. You've given us such a big and different perspective of, I guess, how interesting rugby is and how many different facets there are in rugby. So I'm looking forward to seeing you doing some more reffing. I hope that I'm not playing against you anytime soon. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Makeba, it was a pleasure. And
Same here.
we hope that we can sit one day and chat again about the sport of rugby. Viewers, we have come to the end of this segment here. We were talking rugby. As you know, we are constantly going to be updating and highlighting the sport of rugby. So we hope that you enjoyed this segment. And when we get back from the break, we are heading to our favorite place, that is
Smokey and Bunty's,
to bring you World Cup action. So stay tuned, we'll be right back.
We, from those encounters together, and this was a North-South game to open the season.
So the team might be playing well, as we always say with Trinidad and Tobago.
Futsal did that great for me.
Okay, hey everybody. Welcome to another edition of Field of Dreams and ACTN. My name is Steve David. I'm your host.
Okay, welcome once again to the World Cup special, and we are coming to you from Smokies and Bunties on the Avenue, and we want to say a big welcome. We know that a lot of you all have been tuning into our special coming to you from the Smokies and Bunties on the Avenue, and we really appreciate it. First of all, let me say a big shout out to Maria. Maria is not here with us today. She is in Canada playing her trade in rugby. I think her first game is on tomorrow, so we want to wish her all the best. But we have joining us here Solange Guzman, a good friend of both of us, myself and James. Solange, it's a pleasure and welcome.
Thank you so much.
And we have James Beard, as usual. James, today we're going to be witnessing the Belgium Brazil game. But before we get into that, let's talk a bit about the 2018 World Cup. What's your take so far on from the opening to now? How has the competition been for you?
Well, I think it's been a great World Cup. It's actually been phenomenal. I mean, the smaller teams have stepped up. Some of the big teams didn't show up, and it's just been a great tournament football-wise as well. I mean, obviously, like you said at the start, I give a shout out to Maria. Obviously, it's sad not to have her with us on the show, but we have Solange, and
yes.
I'm sure she will fill in really well. But football-wise, it's been great. There's been, as I say, a lot of disappointments. but a lot of teams have stood up and showed that they're not just there to make up the numbers. So very interesting.
Now, most of the top stars, the Messi, the Ronaldo, the teams, Spain, Portugal, Argentina, Germany, they have left us early. What's your whole take on the performance of the teams, the big name teams who have departed so far?
Well, one thing we have to remember is even the smaller players are still professionals. So although, yes, the big stars, they blew hot and cold. I mean, Ronaldo started off really well. Messi didn't really show up. He showed up maybe near the end. So, but again, these guys are all professionals, the smaller ones. They've stepped up. They've showed that they're very good professionals as well. And I think in general it showed that football's changed. Football's changed from being, teams with just full of stars or one or two stars leading them through to a complete united front, and that's what we've seen from all the smaller teams. They've came together and they've showed that, as I say, they really are here to show the world how good footballers they are.
Because when you look at it, none of the stars, the Messis and the Ronaldo, even coming up to Neymar, none of them have really shine, right? Who are the other players that you have seen that have risen to the occasion?
Well, there's been so many of them. I mean, Halldórsson, the goalkeeper for Iceland, right at the start for me was tremendous, and I just saw yesterday he earned himself a move to, I think, Azerbaijan, one of the top teams there. We've had guys like Charisma for Portugal, who to me showed up more or bigger than Ronaldo, Then we have William for Brazil. I mean, everybody knows he's a big player at Chelsea, but he really showed up in the last game for Brazil too. And then there's a whole heap of them. Lukaku's done well for Belgium. Japan had some guys that just came out. Honda showed that he still has something at his older age, So there's so many players that came either back out the box or showed themselves onto a new scene.
I know Solange is waiting to drop some questions to you concerning Brazil, but so far, some of the games that really stood out for you. I know we were here for the Spain-Portugal game, and we had high hopes for those two teams, but they have gone out.
Well, I think the Spain-Portugal game set off the tone. It wasn't the first game, I think it was the second or third game, and it was a tremendous match, back and forward, lots of goals, lots of football. But except that, the Belgium-Japan game, I loved. I mean, I thought the passion from Japan to go ahead 2-0, but then the naivety, not being able to hold on to the result, But again, we know how good Belgium are. They showed that, we can't discount them. But it showed a few defensive frailties in the Belgian team too. So to me, those two games stood out. Except that, I mean, I enjoyed the England game the other day as well, going all the way to penalties. England showed that, they broke that hoodoo of penalties. So a lot of really good games, and I'm sure there'll be a lot more to come as well.
Solange, today's Brazil, your favorite team, versus Belgium.
Yes. Well, as George said, Brazil is my favorite team. So I want to hear your predictions today.
Well, I think it's going to be a very close game, but I think it'll either be a 3-2 or a 3-1 to Brazil.
Oh, well, you supporting Brazil?
Yes, well, I have my Brazil shirt on today. So,
right now you're my best friend.
Yes.
Okay, so what do you think about Brazil tactics? Do you think that they are playing tactically sound to beat
I think the one thing I've seen from Brazil is defensively they look a little frail still, but they've stepped up a gear in each game. So the last game they did step up, but it was nice to see other players except Neymar showing up and Coutinho and William. So I think they're starting to play as a complete unit. I think we'll see more of that today, but again, we can't rule out Belgium. They have a lot of talent in that team. Lukaku's scoring goals, Hazard's there, and then they have a great goalkeeper as well in Courtois. So it's going to be a great game, and I don't think it's going to go to penalties, but it will go right to the end.
But this game, is it a game of midfield against defense? Because Belgium has a strong midfield, Brazil has a strong defense, only conceded 1 goal so far. Belgium has conceded, I think, 5, right? Scoring, I think, 12. Right? How do you see that playing out?
I think it'll be a free-flowing game. I think it'll go back and forward. I mean, I think on paper, I would say both teams have Belgium probably just scrape it in terms of midfield, but there's enough quality in the Brazilian team to say, or to argue that fact too. I think there's so much quality in both teams. I mean, from defence, goalkeeper, midfield, attack, that, as I say, I think there will be goals. I think Belgium will probably come out strong at the start and they'll be showing that they're a little bit maybe more physical. they'll put the boot in, but I think, as I say, at the end of the day, Brazil will come away with the result.
So do you think that any goal will be scored on the first half?
I think it'll maybe be a 1-1 at half-time. I think both teams will kind of try and show their dominance on the ball possession, and I think we will get 2 goals in the first half, yeah.
Which are your views about Neymar's performance so far?
I think he's been okay. He's not been
okay, just
he's not been phenomenal. I think his theatrics probably off the ball have been more of a talking point.
He has spent close to 14 minutes so far on the ground.
One fact I actually researched was though he's been the most fouled player in the whole tournament. So although we get the theatrics, he is getting a lot of hard challenges, a lot of bad challenges, and that's something that we have to look at. Yeah. So. He's been good, but he needs to step it up a level if he's going to obviously take his team to the final.
Who do you think is going to win the World Cup? That is a hard question.
It's a very hard question. I think if we see the Brazil team stepping it up and coming through, I think it could potentially be a Brazil-England final, which is hard for me, obviously being a Scotsman, but I do have a British passport, so I probably will have to switch over and go for England in that one. But I think those 2 teams will make it to the final, yeah.
Now, the England game against Colombia. Now, my view on that game is that I felt if Colombia was more disciplined, they could have won that game.
I totally agree.
Do you see that so far that England is dependent mostly on, what's his name, the guy who has scored the 6 goals so far? Kane, right? Now, because Kane has scored the most goals so far, he's in line for the Golden Boots. But do you think that England has become a team similar to the Messi and the other teams, that they're dependent on one man to really pull them through?
I don't agree with that at all. I think although Kane's work rate, he drops back, he can hold the ball up, he can score goals, but I think the one thing I've seen from England this time is they're a complete unit. They have no egos, which they had in the past. They always had Beckham, Lampard, Gerrard.
Yeah.
They couldn't get on really together. But I think this team, they don't have that one ego or 2 egos that causes a little bit of squabbles in the dressing room. I think they play for each other. They're a younger team, and they're very typically British in the way they play. They're strong, they're physical, and I think all through that team they have quality. So I don't agree with he's the only man there. I think Henderson, I think Stones has been phenomenal at the back. Even Pickford, the goalkeeper, pulled up probably to save the tournament against Colombia too. So, but I think Colombia got caught up in their own game in the last game. They were trying to...
They were too indisciplined.
They were trying to play... I think they were trying to take the game to England physically, but discipline-wise, they couldn't handle it, yeah.
The World Cup isn't completed as yet, but how do you rate this Russia 2018 World Cup in comparison to other World Cups?
Well, from what I've seen, it's been fantastic. I mean, it's picturesque, it's beautiful. I've not heard any drama, so to speak, over there. So it's definitely been one of the top ones. I mean, we've had some great World Cups, so I'm not going to say it's the best, but it's definitely up there, probably in the top 3 or 4. And I'm really enjoying it, as I say, even down to you're seeing, for example, the president at a lot of the games and a lot of the other presidents of countries. So it's bringing in a lot of people from different countries, and also I think, as I say, off the field, we've not heard anything bad. So obviously they're doing their job, policing the country, making sure it's safe and things for our fans.
Final question. Uruguay, France this morning. France won the game. Were you disappointed in the results?
I think that France were going to come through it. I was disappointed in the sense that the goalkeeper for Uruguay, I'm trying to remember his name, I think Muslera, he made the mistake that he set himself too early, he got caught, and I think he could have done better with the goal. But I think with...
Yeah, because you don't palm a ball when you don't have any pressure on you with defense-wise, right? You could have either punch or dive, because there wasn't any pressure on him.
I think decision-making, comes into it, and we saw some goalkeepers making mistakes too, but I think ultimately the fact that they missed Carvalho, a big miss for them, and I just don't think they had enough quality in the rest of the team. Suarez, he blew hot and cold again, and he got quite aggressive at some points in the game because obviously he's disappointed, but we saw the passion from Uruguay at the end. I mean, one of the players 10 minutes before the end crying, he knew that it was virtually over, and it's sad to see them go, but I think the best team really won.
Solange, what's your prediction today, Belgium versus Brazil?
You know, I'm always supporting Brazil, and Brazil is going to win. So right now, James is my best friend. His predictions indicate that Brazil is going to win 3-2. I don't care so much about the score. All what I care is about winning, and Brazil is going to win. So
Any closing comments before we go to the match?
As I say, I just think it's going to be a great game. It's going to be a lot of goals. It's probably going to be a lot of action, and with obviously Neymar's theatrics, there'll probably be a few dives, and I think Belgium will put the boot in. So it's going to be a really hot game, this one.
Now we want to say thank you to the viewers, but we're going to let Solange do it because she can talk a little Portuguese, the same language as Brazil.
Well, obrigado, that means thank you for watching us, and we hope to see you soon. And James, I remain hopeful that you will be able to represent Trinidad and Tobago very soon in football, and maybe on the next World Cup we are going to be seeing James there, who knows? And we are going to be right here in Smokey and Bunty. So obrigado again, that means thank you for looking at us, and we hope to see you again soon.
Well, we'll be right back at halftime with all the analysis for the first half in this game, Brazil versus Belgium. Stay tuned, you're viewing ACTN, and we are at Smokies and Bunties on the Avenue, the place to be for the finals of the World Cup. Remember,
supporting Brazil.
The finals is going to be right here on the Avenue. Second half action, we are Smokies and Bunties. James, not what we expected at all.
Yeah, I'm very shocked. I mean, I actually don't even know what to say. I mean, but wonderful half of football, but not what we expected. Belgium came out big, they came out resilient, they came out compact, they came out composed, and they're 2-0 up, and real shock.
Well, I told a lot of people, if you look at Brazil, the first 15-20 minutes of all Brazil games, they were a bit slow. And I said that any team who can get 2 goals ahead of Brazil early will be victorious. But we have a Belgium fan here. Gerard, you seem to be outnumbered here, but nevertheless, you have weight because you're on top. Were you altogether of the opinion that Belgium would defeat Brazil?
Yes, fully 100% thought Belgium was going to win. What happened? Brazil has been playing football, not gonna lie, they have been playing brilliant football, but Belgium has been keeping their pace, they have been keeping steady, they are able to score goals. Rugby Lukaku, amazing indeed, on top, he is holding off players, he is playing his role properly. Perfect game from Belgium.
No, they have scored so far 12 against 5, Brazil I think is 7 against 1, right? But what do you think that Belgium has done so far to really dominate and take, and Neymar is not nowhere in the game, right? Where do you see the second half being played out?
Speaking from personally knowing football and playing football, I think that the game is being won in the midfield. Alright, I think between De Bruyne and Eden Hazard, they are playing a brilliant game. They're taking it in the midfield and they are distributing it rather well. I see about 2 more goals coming from Belgium, to be honest with you. I see Brazil probably scoring 1, but I believe Belgium's going to win this game 4-1 without a problem.
So what do you think Martinez is going to be saying to the guys at halftime there?
No more thing, come out and go back out and play your best game, play as best as you can.
And you expect this Belgium team to go on and win the whole tournament now?
Not particularly, because personally I'm a Spanish fan. All right, but I believe that Belgium will be winning this game. I believe Belgium will be winning this game without doubt.
We have seen some of the games recently coming down to the second half where teams are scoring and leveling score and going into penalty kicks. Do you see that happening in this game?
In this game, it can happen, but what I need is Neymar in particular needs to step up, Coutinho, maybe some Paulinho. Once the players step up, they can at least reach the penalties, but I don't see this happening. I see Belgium winning this 4-1 without a problem.
Do you see them going on further after today? Once they win this game, do you see them actually going on with the other teams to accomplish that goal of winning the World Cup?
To be honest with you, I'd actually like to see Belgium go on, but France is a brilliant side right now, and their next game going forward will be France. So I don't know if they would beat France, but I do see Belgium doing very well in this World Cup there.
James, before we talk to a Brazilian fan, what's your whole take on the first half?
I think Brazil didn't really play to their strengths, but we have to give Belgium a lot of credit for the way they marked Neymar and company out of the game. So there's been a lot of chances. Courtois came up big with 3 big saves that I can think of. So the game will even out in the second half. I think both sides will get chances. Will Brazil get that back? We will just have to wait and see. But it will be a great second half, definitely.
What I've realized in football is a lot of times we focus on an individual player, Messi, Ronaldo, Neymar, right? And this World Cup, it is showing you that there are other guys besides these guys who can step up, right? And a lot of fans support Argentina or Brazil because of one individual player. But I support a team that's playing good football, right? And I've seen it in this World Cup. And a lot of the teams, Iran, Iceland, Nigeria, all of them have played very good football. So the days of one individual, putting a team together is no more. Would you agree with me?
Yeah, actually would. I would agree fully. The sides that, the normal names that should here, Neymar, Messi, Cristiano, they clearly haven't showed up. What you are seeing is brilliant sides coming together. Russia came out from nowhere. Belgium itself, yes, Belgium has big players, Lukaku, Eden Hazard, but they're working as a team. Argentina hasn't worked as a team, Portugal hasn't worked as a team. I don't see Brazil working as a team. The storyline on Neymar a lot, the storyline on Coutinho a lot. So what you see is a side that played full 11 will depend on who wins the game.
Nevertheless, you show off because your team on top. Let's talk to a Brazilian fan. Welcome back to Smokies and Bunties. And James, it's the first time I see so many yellow t-shirts disappear since UNC lose the last election.
Yeah, they disappeared really fast. I mean, I'm surprised, I can't believe it, but Belgium are awesome. They locked up Brazil very early on. They did it throughout the whole game. And Courtois, the goalkeeper, was just absolutely phenomenal. So.
And remember what I said to you earlier? The first 15 to 20 minutes of Brazil game, any team that scores, because that is the time when you find Brazil, they're not at their peak. If you look at the entire World Cup, they take about 10 to 15 minutes before they actually get going. And I said to you before the game, any team that scores 2 early goals on Brazil is going to win. We have Jove. Now, Jove is neutral. He like Brazil, he like Belgium. What's your thoughts on the whole game?
Well, for the whole game, it's very exciting. Like, I have the nervous energy still inside me. Like, I wanted to see a lot of goals. I'll be happy with 3 goals. Extra time, that would have been too good, too much for everybody. Yeah, but as I said earlier, Brazil, yeah, they take very long. It's like a slow burn at a startup. All the games, they took second half to score and everything. If you want to go goal by goal, first one, I'm pretty sure Fernandinho still thinking he's playing for City because my boy, Kevin De Bruyne, put in that cross and he just first post, that's great. Second goal, great dummy and everything by Lukaku, drawing the defenders away, being the target man that he is, attracting all the attention, and then both Hazard and De Bruyne could do everything freely. What a bullet by De Bruyne, my word. I'm a Manchester United fan and I never thought I would celebrate a goal by a City fan. That was great. I wouldn't say they choose a shut up shop, but they more or less just laid back, absorbed the pressure, hit them on the counters. There was a few instances where Lukaku had a poor touch and they couldn't get their third goal and make everything much easier for them. Second half start, they made the changes, they bring on Firmino, they brought on Firmino a bit, brought on Costa. Those made central changes as well as Renato Augusto. I swear to God, this man is what, 5'8", 5'9", shorter than almost the whole back line. And manages to get inside and scores the header. Great header, by the way. Below post, it's our friend the keeper to get up. But Belgium really made Brazil's chances. They had it. Brazil tried to take those chances, and because they didn't, stab them in the heart.
But James, remember we talk about Belgium versus Japan. That same cross ball from the corners with the height advantage, and we saw it happening with the first goal. Where do you think Brazil lost this game?
Well, I think they lost it, obviously. They lost it in the midfield to an extent, but Belgium were just so good in every single part of the field. I mean, they won every individual battle. I mean, obviously Martinez said to them before the game that, you know, if every player wins a battle, we win the game. And they did that. And I mean, cross balls, they were second to every ball. Neymar didn't really start. Coutinho didn't do anything. I mean, there was nobody really that was on firing on full cylinders for Brazil, and we saw that in the whole game. But again, Courtois was phenomenal.
I would like to also bring up a point. As said, every game is won in the midfield. They went on a 3-4-3 formation, very risky against a side like Brazil that just goes straight down the wing, hits you on the attack. The midfield of Axel Witsel and Marouane Fellaini, I thought was a bit risky. Yes, Witsel plays in Russian League and all that, and that's kind of a subpar league compared to everyone who plays in La Liga, BPL, Bundesliga, etc. But he performs well, and as a Manchester United fan, as I said, I can tell you, one of the better games I've seen from Fellaini. I was shocked, I was impressed. Big ups to him. Despite Fernandinho almost beating him in every aerial battle, he's done his job and he did well. Meunier plays the same club as PSG with Neymar, so he knew what to do to keep him locked down, and that was a big focal point. If you cut off Neymar, you cut off one less option. Because usually it was really Neymar and Coutinho in this World Cup for Brazil. Coutinho had a bad game, yeah, I would say so. To me, he's a long shot merchant. If he doesn't take shots from outside the box, he doesn't do much. So when you just take off one option and then block these shots from Coutinho, you really have Brazil number.
But we saw in this World Cup that none of the stars who people were looking forward to in this World Cup have shown in this World Cup. Neymar was the last one going out now.
Depends on who you call by star. If you're talking about big names,
yeah,
Messi,
big names.
I mean, yeah, but if you're talking about other names and teams like Kylian Mbappe, 19 years old, that man is younger than me by a few months. I'm here talking about on how great he is. He is our next upcoming star. He is certified star. When everyone retires, he is up there for Ballon d'Or candidacy. I rate the man. He is a star. Everyone's saying, oh, Pogba's the star for France, this and that. Yeah, but you need to look at everybody else. They're other stars. They're not the bigger stars, but they're stars. So I wouldn't really say the stars haven't shown in the World Cup. It's just the smaller ones have shown brighter than the big ones.
But James, let's try and get a Belgium fan because the Brazilian supporters have just disappeared. So let's see if we can get a Belgium fan who can give their views on the game. We are back here, Smokies and Bunties on the Avenue, and we have Sana, a Belgium fan. Give me your thoughts on how you're feeling right now. They beat Brazil. We hardly seen any yellow jerseys. And as I told James, it reminds me of when UNC lost the last election. Yellow disappeared.
I am very, very happy with the results of this game. Honestly, Brazil played a very good game. I'll give them that. Belgium defense wasn't all that, but Belgium keeper saved them. Belgium keeper was hats off to him. He deserved that. Lukaku, hats off to him as well.
Were you always a Belgium fan?
No, my team was Spain. I'm not a bandwagoner, so I jumped on nobody wagon.
You're supporting good football?
Yes, good football, good football. That was a good game. That was a very good game. Belgium deserved to win that game.
So do you think Belgium could go on and win it now?
Well, I will back Belgium for the World Cup for them to win because I mean they kick out Brazil, big team and things. So I would say yes, I can back them, yeah.
And how did you like your experience here at Smokey and Bunties?
There's the first game I watched here and I must say it was very exciting. I enjoyed it. It was very exciting.
And we want to take this opportunity to invite you to the finals on the 15th because we'll be right here. That will be a grand occasion. Viewers, if you are viewing and you want to come to somewhere where it's comfortable, where it's relaxing, where it's enjoyable, Smokies and Bunties on the Avenue. James, any closing comments?
No, it was an excellent game. I'm surprised by the result, but at the end of the day, football won again, like I said, and it brings on an all-European semi-finals, and I'm very excited. As a European, I am very excited, but I'm curious to see if England can make it to the final. But this Belgium team are awesome, and it'll take a really good team to beat them.
Well, viewers, we want to thank you all very much for staying with us. Remember, ACTN in conjunction with Smokies and Bunties on the Avenue. And as I said, we'll be here on the 15th. We might even be here for a game in the semi-finals, but we want to invite you to the 15th, the finals, right here. Entertainment, giveaways, everything is happening right here. Smokies and Bunties on the Avenue. Okay, we could not have left here without talking to a Brazilian fan. Let's hear his thought on Brazil being knocked out by Belgium. What's your take so far on this game?
First thing first, I would like to say congratulations to the Belgium team. Belgium was actually, they are not an underdog team, right? But going up against a team like Brazil, gotta have courage. They did well. I must say, the breaks they got on us, they utilize it, they make full use of it. Props up to them. However, Brazil, they're still unbeatable. We still holding my consolation. We still have 5 in the bag. You know. However, we had good chances. We still have good players. It just wasn't Brazil Day, you know. But again, World Cup has ended for me today, you know. If I have to support a team, I think I will go with Croatia, right? However, it is what it is at the end of the day.
I always say, a supporter of football, yes, you might have your favorite team, but at the end of the day, if you're a true supporter, you will look at a team who playing good football and you will support. And my 2 teams that I've seen so far, with the exception of Brazil, is Croatia and Belgium. And at the end of the World Cup, I just want to see 90 minutes of good football. James.
That's Alan, what's your thoughts on the whole World Cup in general? I mean, obviously your teams went out today, but in general, you've enjoyed it. What was your complete thoughts of it?
Just to comment on Nima, I think he needs to man up now.
Yes.
You know, he needs to man up. All these fake fouls, you know.
Do you know he had spent 14 minutes on the ground in the entire World Cup?
Yeah. I mean, a great player like Nima, he is a great player. You understand? And he does need to man up. You know, he needs to, get over that's my, come on. You know, that's not Brazil football. That's not South American football.
Next 4 years. Thank you.
4 years. Thanks for that, man. Yeah.